So, Live Phish coming out with a new release. The two shows from St. Louis in 1993. I guess, trying to give you your Phish fill in case you were not able to get MSG tickets today. We get that announcement. Also, I guess I read about this like a week ago on Jambase. So here it is, the announcement. I think it went on pre-sale today or something. The first of the two shows, April 14th, 1993, the American Theater there in St. Louis. Buried Alive, Poor Heart opener. A good way to get you started out. An instrumental and a bluegrass tune. Getting everybody dancing, feeling good. Then Maze is ready to rock the place out. Then then Bouncin. Apparently Bouncin, Big Chomper, is still a bit of a chomper hit, but apparently a big chomper hit back then. I was listening to an audience recording, and that seemed to get a roar out of some chompers early on, the Bouncin did. Then we get into It's Ice. By the end of It's Ice, there was no crowd noise. I imagine everybody was just standing there with their jaws dropped on the ground. It's Ice, a relatively new song at this time in 93. Followed by Stash, a big part of why this was probably released. The Stash Coon. And the Stash early on, not early for Stash, but early enough to where there was not the clapping in there. It was just the wood block from Fishman. Not even a hint of clapping from the crowd. Later on there was clapping from the crowd, and I didn't know, and also YEM. But Stash had not contracted the clap yet. Oh man, that joke didn't come out very smooth. It worked on that earlier. I got to work on the delivery, but you get the point. Stash got the clap, get it? Fishman, single Fishman back in the day. So anyhow, on to the Stash Coon. Boy, the jam, the alligator mouth from Coon back into Stash was amazing. Took him a minute, the Stash into Coon. It took a minute to figure out what's going on, but Trey starts screaming from the hills. You know what's going on. Then as they finished out Stash, that was also lyrically Coon in there. Then we get a horse. The horse had a little bit of an acoustic jam. Mixed in a little Who tease in there and was really ripping it up on the acoustic guitar. Also still finishing Coon, I believe. Then we get the Silent in the Morning following that. Then Divided Sky, a nice sharp, crisp Divided Sky. Kind of like that It's Ice. Nothing crazy and out there. Just playing the song like it should be played, but just in 1993, man, everything just like the edges were sharp on everything, man. No lazy turns in a Divided Sky in 93. Then the already mentioned I Didn't Know Fishman on washboard, not the vacuum, but playing a washboard instead. The crowd clapping along, like I said, to that, and then Golgi ending the set. Getting the second set started, The second set started, Trey's friend Roger, finding out that Roger, the guy that's mentioned in AC/DC Bag, maybe a couple other songs, he was there. Trey said he was there when they wrote Divided Sky. Recently, Tom Marshall was talking about he was around the rhombus when Divided Sky was thought up. So, there's only like 4 words in that song, and I'm pretty sure Trey wrote the music. So I don't know why everybody else is trying to take credit for Divided Sky, but ACD. So anyhow, his friend Roger, proposes to his then girlfriend Jen. Jen says yes, thank God. Saving, well, who knows if she wanted to say yes, but and Trey, spoiler alert, I felt like Trey kind of ruined the surprise a little bit, with his announcement when he was calling him up on stage. So then Roger gets his AC/DC Bag, My Sweet One. Then we also get a Roger and Jen connection in the encore, Lengthwise, Contact, Tweezer Reprise. Spoiler alert, Tweezer Reprise. Tweezer's coming. Speaking of spoilers. So, and then, I'd be like, I'll be damned, does this Tweezer? Are they teasing Tweezer Reprise and Tweezer? Not much of a, again, the jam and Tweezer was one of them just sort of, they stayed within Tweezer, but it definitely had a jam. Sometimes I guess just without really thinking about it, I think they didn't really jam in 1993, but they definitely jammed in 1993. I don't know why I always have that feeling like they didn't really start jamming to the later on, 95, 96, but. So we got that jam, just like we did in Stash, and then a Tweezer Mound, coming out of the Tweezer jam, you get Mound, a big ball jam. A big ball jam seems like a fun thing, a good idea, but boy, they just always musically just never really, I don't know, it just sounded like a bunch of dumb shit. Noises, sounded like noises. So that's all you get there. Then you get YEM Spooky, a song I had to look up. It sounded familiar. Like, what is this song? It's a song that's been done by several people back in the 60s and 70s. Really only do one verse from it. It's more of a spooky jam. Then they go back into YEM, finishing that out. Again, not the power player that Stash Coon was, but YEM Spooky YEM. Yeah, they mix that. They like to do stuff like that a little more back then than now. Then if that wasn't enough, we get a Harpua. The Harpua narration, Trey's carrying on about dreams and dreams collected, and then you get into the door. He starts screaming at this. I felt like I'd never heard this show before, but we started screaming about the Doors doing the end thing. Kind of felt like I had heard that before. Maybe 15, 16 years ago. Maybe that's all I heard was that Harpua. Maybe they did the Doors, the YEM thing in other Harpuas or other Phish songs. I'm not real sure. Kind of feel like maybe in the early 90s they might have fooled around with At the End a lot. Just kind of as a little inside joke amongst themselves. Not sure. Not sure if I'd heard that Harpua or not, but it's a nice Harpua. Then Runaway Jim ending the set. Like I said, I already told you about the encore. Told you about the encore before we got into the second set. Again, for Roger and Jen, Lengthwise, Contact, Tweezer Reprise. Boom, we're out of here. We'll probably do the second show. It's a two show box set. This is just show number 1. I'm F Zappa 20. Thanks for watching. Now we will boom out of here. Hey, make sure you like them, subscribe, and share, dude.